Welcome to tomorrow's factory automation. I'm Takahashi, the main personality, and Chris.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yep.
So, Chris, you tweeted something about virtualization on Twitter before, didn't you?
That's right.
Was there something specific about that?
Yes, well, honestly, I've been gathering a lot of information from Europe. And right around that time, the topic of virtualization, specifically virtual PLCs, came up.
Gotcha.
And, well, Takahashi-san, you also inquired about it, but it seems to be quite a hot topic in Europe right now. I probably don't understand virtual PLCs that deeply yet, but from what I've heard, they're being promoted as something that can solve all existing problems in the world, or that incorporating AI will bring about significant innovation. Also, scalability is flexible, they said, but I couldn't quite grasp the real meaning of it, or what virtual PLCs actually are. I kept thinking about where the real benefits were, but couldn't find an answer. That's when I tweeted about it. I felt like I couldn't quite keep up with the thinking of European engineers at that time.
I see what you mean. Well, how should I say it? Rather than thinking about it from an OT perspective, I think it's probably better to think about it from an IT perspective in this case.
Ah, that's true. Not OT, but IT.
Yes, you should probably look at what kind of history IT has followed regarding virtualization in such cases. So, why was virtualization born in the first place? And now, I think the benefits of virtualization everyone talks about are probably just a result.
Ah, so the result was good, not the cause.
I think it's the outcome of logically tracing results and history to get to where we are now. So yes, just bringing the final results doesn't match the fundamental reason for implementing it, does it? For example, even if they say it has scalability, we end up asking, why are we even looking for scalability right now?
Exactly. Did we run a PLC on a big PPC? What do we even want to do? I found myself wondering what we wanted to do.
Yes, but IT must have been the same at first. To resolve that, you probably need to look at what kind of history IT has followed, specifically IT virtualization.
Got it.
First, we should define what virtualization is. I think it's better to start there. When people ask what a virtual PLC is, they often say it's a PLC that runs on a PC, right?
They do. What's the difference after all?
Right. Doesn't it make you wonder what's different from a soft PLC? What virtualization is, generally, is taking a single piece of physical hardware, say one computer, one CPU, and making multiple OSs or applications run as if they were different entities, like having two computers. That's the general idea of virtualization.
Yes, that's right.
So let's start by discussing why virtualization became necessary in the first place. Why do you think virtualization was born?
Why was virtualization born? Let me think. Servers, IPCs became increasingly powerful, and it was a waste to run just one application on them.
It's even older. The concept of virtualization has existed since around the 1960s. In short, hardware was incredibly expensive.
Exactly. PCs were expensive back then, so you couldn't prepare two or three of them.
Right, so wouldn't it be better if 10 people who only use 10% could use it together? That's virtualization. The original importance was running multiple applications on a single physical hardware. By efficiently using expensive resources, the initial need was to lower the investment cost.
So virtualization is about letting everyone share expensive hardware, making it seem like multiple things exist at once. That way you can reduce costs and use resources efficiently. That's the starting point of virtualization.
Exactly. And this is where it deviates a bit when it comes to current PLCs, because PLCs are really cheap now.
Oh, yeah, at that point.
So when someone tells us you can integrate them, we're like, PLCs are cheap anyway, aren't they? Isn't it cheaper to just put one unit there? Maybe the containers cost more. That's how it feels, right?
I get that.
So there's a fundamental disconnect. The origin of virtualization as a consolidation technology was to reduce costs when hardware was seriously expensive. That was its primary driver. And then virtualization tech kind of fell out of fashion for a while.
What caused that?
Semiconductor prices dropped dramatically. In short, hardware got cheap, so people thought, let's just put separate servers everywhere.
Is that when everyone started getting their own personal computers?
Exactly. Virtualization faded for a while, But demand for software and computing in general exploded. No matter how cheap each PC is, if you need a massive number of them, it gets expensive. So, consolidation reappeared.
It's like a loop.
Exactly. And here, VMware shows up. Huge name. Around 2000 or so, VMware made it practical to run multiple different OSs on top of a single piece of hardware. By consolidating what used to be spread out, you could reduce the hardware by half or even two-thirds. A huge result, given the high initial cost.
Cost really was the key.
Right. Eventually, maintaining those server rooms became a big burden. That's when the discussion moved toward cloud computing. Instead of each company prepping their own servers, you prepare a big data center and centralize everything. Use shared resources. The development of networks made that possible.
Ah, the internet.
Exactly. Once network speed improved, similar to how OT might improve, then the idea of centralizing things became viable. And that's where Docker came in.
Container tech, super popular.
If I oversimplify containers, the OS stays the same underneath, but on top, you have lots of clean, isolated environments, like multiple fresh PCs on the same OS. In the VM era, starting and stopping a whole OS took a long time. But with cloud, you naturally want to spin it up only when needed and shut it down when not. The focus shifts to using massive data center resources as efficiently as possible.
So scalability on one side and using finite resources efficiently, constantly distributing and consolidating to control costs. Those are the real merits.
Now, let's map that thinking onto PLCs and OT. For example, it probably starts with the high cost of hardware.
Right. Hardware was expensive initially, but now PLCs are pretty affordable, aren't they?
True, but we don't know if PLCs will stay cheap forever. For instance, PLCs already need very high functionality. It's not unusual for them to cost around $1 million nowadays. And with IoT and other mechanisms, we're heading into an era where you'll need to put HPCs on site. If that becomes standard, the current pricing model will break.
It won't add up anymore.
So the price mismatch I mentioned earlier could get resolved. Consolidation might actually become cheaper. Still, it's important on its own. For example, cost reduction is a means, not the end.
A means.
Because you want to do something. The real question is, will such a need emerge in FA? I think it will, but I can't say when. The possibility is definitely there.
So we should be prepared.
Maybe. What you want to do beyond virtualization is far more important. You have to look at virtualization through its history. Otherwise, why should we virtualize is a tough hypothesis to form. Unless we understand why IT had to do it, OT can't do it either.
Right, right. This makes me think about tomorrow's work differently.
It means questioning assumptions.
Yeah, and not knowing what's bothering you is a key point.